Alison. I'm the Programs Outreach and Youth Services Manager here at Monterey County Free Libraries. Thank you for joining me this evening for another October-themed episode of Book Chat. Tonight I'm going to be chatting with you about a graphic novel. It's called A Guest in the House by Emily Carroll. Emily Carroll wrote one of my favorite graphic novels called Through the Woods, which I did a previous book chat on. It's a collection of short, spooky stories, and it's got one of my absolute favorite stories in it. You can check out the book chat. I believe I might have done that as a book chat teens, but it's somewhere in our YouTube catalog, so you can check that out if you want to learn more about that book. But this book, A Guest in the House, is one big story. So I'm going to read you the inside flap. After many lonely years, Abby's just gotten married. She met her new husband, a recently widowed dentist, when he arrived in town with his young daughter seeking a new start. Although it's strange living in the shadow of her predecessor, Abby does her best to be a good wife and mother. But the more she learns about her new husband's first wife, the more things don't add up, and Abby starts to wonder, was Sheila's death really by natural causes? As Abby sinks deeper into confusion, Sheila's memory seems to become a force all its own, ensnaring Abby in a mystery that leaves her obsessed, fascinated, and desperately in love for the first time in her life. So this was a really interesting book. It really kind of blurs the lines between what our main character is going through, what might be in her imagination, what's happening in reality. And it all gets kind of blurred so that you're not really sure as the reader who you can trust. So Abby's kind of an unreliable narrator as she starts to kind of descend more into loneliness and confusion and isolation. It reminds me a lot of movies where the main character is kind of thinking that something is going on, doesn't necessarily have any proof, but has a hunch and is doing their best to figure out what is actually happening. So it's kind of hard to go into a lot of detail about this book without spoiling anything. It's something you really have to experience for yourself. And of course, the illustrations really add to it. So like here is an example of Abby kind of being haunted by the memory and the ghost of her husband's former wife. So I know that's not a lot to go on, but it's really great. And some of the testimonials on the back, for instance, Sloan Leong says, Carroll brings her trademark sensual grotesquerie to this deep character study, braiding the grisly threads of a woman's everyday mundanity with a lush and sordidly brutal dreamscape. As melancholic and erotic collide, A Guest in the House evolves into a modern horror masterpiece. So we have this in our collection. It is a graphic novel for those of you who are big graphic novel fans. There's a lot to go through with both the story and the visuals that accompany it. And I think that you'll enjoy it if you're looking for something mysterious, deep, and kind of spooky to read this season. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.